Hello students, and welcome for this session to demonstrate surgical instruments used for extraction of teeth. Most of extraction and closed technique extractions are gonna be done by majorly these instruments, but not limited to these instruments. We have two kinds of instruments that are used for extraction. The first of all are the forceps, and forceps are composed of a handle and a joint along with beak, while the elevators are having a handle, a shank, and an applicable blade. Each one have a specific purpose and a specific function and a job to do. As for the forceps, they most of the time need something to grasp on. It's either a crown or a root, each one of which will depend and will happen about it. There will be a change of the blade shapes, of the beak shapes. Now we will start to differentiate between an upper and a lower forceps. As for the upper forceps, most of the time when you look at them, you will find that the beaks are in parallel with the handles, while for the lower forceps, the beaks are perpendicular to the handle. Now we will start demonstrating all different kinds of upper forceps. For the upper anterior teeth, you will find that the beaks are a little bit broad, they are open, and they are exactly parallel to the long handle. So there is no any curvature of the beaks. Now we will talk about the upper premolars forceps. As you can see, the beaks are a little bit curved upwards to reach the premolar region, and they can work on both right and left premolars. Now we will come to the first and second molar forceps, the upper ones. You will see that the two beaks are not similar to each other. One of the beaks will have a small tiny projection, but for this case, because we have the upper molars teeth have three roots, with the two buccal roots have the furcation area, while the palatal root is totally cylindrical, so any beak that is without the projection is considered the palatal beak, while the one with the projection is considered the buccal one. So for this purpose we have a left one and a right one. These are majorly for the extraction of the upper first and second molar teeth. Now we will talk about the third molar. The upper third molar have a lot of anomalies, and that's why you will find that both of the beaks are totally identical and without any projections, but you will find that it is angled twice, once at the joint and the second time is at the beaks, and that to reach the third molar position, while it's really the farthest in the arch and the most difficult to grasp. And that's why you will find that there is nothing about the beaks other than they are broad and open and a little bit roundish. And this one is called also the bayonet forceps. Now, for the root forceps, most of the root forceps are coming in a closed manner this way. As we've said, the upper anterior forceps, you will find the beaks also at a parallel angle to the handles. And there is nothing other than the closed beak to differentiate it from the upper anterior teeth forceps. The upper anterior teeth forceps, you will find that the beaks are open. And this to help in grasping the conical shape anterior roots. Now for the upper posterior root forceps, it is a little bit angled upwards to help reaching the posterior region. This curvature will help to reach the further posterior position. There is the third molar root forceps. You will find it similar to bayonet a little bit, with two angles, one at the joint, the other one at the beaks, but it's different from it with the closed beaks, and they are a little bit cylindrical and longer. Now we will start talking about the lower teeth forceps. If you remember the shape of the lower teeth, the anterior ones, you would know that they are buccolingually very narrow if you compare them to the upper anterior teeth. Thus, you don't need open beaks here. And you will only need a little bit of a broadness in the beaks, and they have to be closed so you can catch them. Also, you will find that the beaks are at a perpendicular or a 90 degrees angle with the handles. Now, there is something to distinguish between the lower premolar and the lower anterior forceps. Looking at that, you will find that the beaks of the lower premolar are open, since buccolingually they are broader. Now we will talk about the lower molar teeth. Lower molar teeth have two kinds of forceps. There is the anterior approach design, there is the lateral design. Looking also at the beaks, both beaks are having some projection there, since the lower molar teeth have two roots. The difference between both of them, one, you will go from the most anterior portion of the oral cavity towards the posterior, and that's why it's called the anterior approach design. This is the lateral design. This is the one that will approach the molar from the lateral position. That means the outer position. That's the difference between them. Now coming to the last forceps, which is the lower root forceps. Most of the lower roots doesn't need to be approached other than with a perpendicular angle according to the handles. So that's it. All of them will be grasped in this kind of a forceps. Not like the upper arch that we need a curvature to reach the posterior and a right handle to reach the anterior ones. I hope this video was beneficial for everyone. If you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you.